So I have some breaking news, and it's actually good. So this from Bernie Sanders. Historic victory. The Senate has voted to stop U.S. military support for the Saudi-led coalition fighting in Yemen. This is the first time ever that the Senate has voted to end an unauthorized war. And the vote on that was 56 to 41, meaning that more than several Republicans actually voted to end U.S. support of a war. It's not something that happens very often or ever. Now, I would like to say that, it's because the Republicans saw all the death and the destruction that the Saudis are causing in Yemen, all the starving children. No, it's largely likely or only because of the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi and MBS being instrumental in that murder. So, it's still good news, but I just wish some of these people would find some sort of empathy for civilians dying in war. But whatever the reasoning, this is still a good piece of news. That said, this was really going to be about a different story because this piece of news just broke before I got on air here. And that is that House Republicans, with the help of 5 heartless Democrats, voted to prevent a discussion on the U.S. support of the Saudi-led war in Yemen. So while the Senate actually passed to end the support, the House passed to not even debate it. Now, MSNBC's Chris Hayes actually had a good breakdown on this. So watch this.
The cowardly but perfectly in character action of Speaker Paul Ryan on his way out the door was to use the Rules Committee to stick a rule, attach it to the Farm Bill. A rule to strip out any debate and consideration of the War Powers Resolution, which would have given lawmakers the opportunity to call for the end of the U.S. support of the Saudi war in Yemen. That rule passed narrowly, 206 to 203, with 18 Republicans voting against the bogus rule. Republican Thomas Massie of Kentucky calling Speaker Ryan's tactic despicable. 5 Democrats provided the majority, voting for the rule. Again, a rule to prevent debate on U.S. support of Saudi Arabia's war in Yemen. Here are the 5 Democrats who helped attach this monstrous rule to a farm bill. They apparently think it's all right to use the farm bill to help continue starving the children of Yemen. And you have to ask again, why? Why do they think that? We don't know, since they wouldn't actually debate it. Are there constituents who get up in the town halls of these 5 Democrats and say, what I need from you, Congressman, is to continue bombing and starving the children of Yemen into death and submission? I highly doubt it. So why, I ask again, are we doing this?
All right, so some fantastic coverage here from Chris Hayes on MSNBC about this issue. I think he was the only person, as far as I saw, in mainstream press to actually cover this properly. Now, let me answer Chris Hayes' question here about why. Why do these Democrats vote or vote for this rule in that bill to end the debate or prevent a debate on the Saudi-led war in Yemen, on the U.S. support of the Saudi-led war in Yemen? Well, here's this from Jeff Stein of the Washington Post, where he actually talked to Democratic Representative Colin Peterson on why he voted for this. Now, get this. Look, this discussion is really insane. So Jeff Stein here writes, full transcript below. Some estimates say more than 50,000 civilians have died in Yemen. Now, look at this discussion he had with Democratic Representative Colin Peterson. Can you explain your vote on the Yemen resolution? Peterson, yeah, it didn't belong in there. Me, why not? Couldn't you just have come back and done another vote? Peterson, no, we've worked for 2 years on this farm bill, and I'll be damned if I let anybody screw it up. Me, do you have any thoughts about the war in Yemen? Peterson, I don't know a damn thing about it. And it should be in there, and it didn't do anything anyway. Me, what do you mean by that? Peterson, all it did was say they couldn't have a vote or something. Didn't authorize anything. It didn't, our party goes off on tangents. It's ridiculous. So, usually these sorts of votes I chalk up to corruption. Somebody that they're getting money from, military contractors somewhere, or there's somebody influencing their vote on this and why they voted that way. And that may still be the case. But these answers make me consider that maybe some of these people are really just incredibly stupid. So, I mean, look at, so he says here, quote, I don't know a damn thing about the war in Yemen. And the other one, our party gets off on tangents. I mean, this sounds like somebody who really doesn't understand what this is even about. So for them to actually end the potential for a debate on the Saudi-led war in Yemen and the U.S. support of that war, it's possibly just because these people are really stupid, not necessarily because they're corrupt, though I do think that is still a potential here. Now, it also goes, so look, you may think, oh, he just supported the farm bill. That's why he voted for this bill, even though that rule was in there. He just wants to pass his farm bill. Well, this from Jeff Stein. Just to be extremely clear about what happened here, the farm bill was going to pass regardless of the outcome of this vote. In other words, these 5 Democrats could have voted both for the farm bill and against blocking a vote on Yemen. It's not like they were incompatible. So this has nothing to do with the farm bill. They could have still supported the farm bill and not supported that rule. But they decided to essentially prevent a debate about the Saudi-led war in Yemen. Now, this from Common Dreams. Paul Kuika Martin, Senior Director for Policy and Political Affairs for Peace Action, said Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, his fellow Republicans, and the 5 Democrats who voted with them are, quote, condemning more Yemeni civilians to die horrible deaths and condemning our nation as a democracy in name only. History will not look kindly on those who abdicated their constitutional duty to debate and vote our nation's wars in the name of petty politics and shoring up future campaign contributions from the arms industry and pro-Saudi lobbyists. So that's exactly right. Now, again, I think it's a combination of stupidity and corruption, at least from the answers here from Peterson to Jeff Stein. But ultimately, I completely agree here. Now, here is what I want people to do. These are the 5 Democrats in the House that voted for this rule. So we have Jim Costa, Al Lawson, Colin Peterson, Dutch Rupperberger, and David Scott. I'm going to put links to each of either their websites or their Twitter accounts below, and message them, call their office, and make sure that that you're heard in terms of, you let them know that their vote here was wrong, that you are against the U.S. support of the Saudi-led war on Yemen, and you want them to do something about it. Now, even after all this, though, it's hard to know how much this matters right now, because there's going to be a new House next year with the Democrats in the majority. So if we now have a bill passed by the Senate supporting to end the U.S. support of the Saudi-led war in Yemen, and you have a House that's going to be majority Democrat, it sounds like this is on the path towards actually ending the U.S. support of the Saudi-led war in Yemen, and that it's really just a matter of time.